Oh man, Ant-Man and the Wasp was so. Aw, damn it. Did I shrink again? Man, this fucking suit sucks. What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 20th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe after Infinity War, and that movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp. Directed once again by Peyton Reed, who directed the first Ant-Man, and it stars the same cast. Paul Rudd back as Scott Lang Ant-Man, Michael Douglas back as Hank Pym, Evangeline Lilly now as the Wasp and Hope. And you got a whole new different cast as well. You got Walton Goggins in there. You got Lawrence Fishburne, who's transferred to Marvel from DC. And of course, this is the sequel to the first Ant-Man. Scott Lang is on house arrest. After the events of Civil War, he joined on Cap's side, he fought the Avengers, and broke different laws. And so now the police have to search his house because he's on house arrest. He's trying to get back in contact with Hank and Hope because they're trying to find Janet Van Dyne, who is the wife of Hank Pym and the mother of Hope Van Dyne. She is stuck in the quantum realm, as you saw in the first movie, and they're trying to create this new technology, Hank Pym trying to get her back. And so they bring Scott back to try to help along. I thought the first Ant-Man movie was a total surprise. I thought it was going to be a total train wreck and the first failure for Marvel, and that movie blew me away. Peyton Reed's direction was fantastic, and it wasn't Edgar Wright attached to it. It was a great heist movie and a great MCU film. And so going into the sequel, I was excited for this movie. Peyton Reed back as director, and it was going to be totally different, and we're going to finally see the Wasp. I was also afraid this was going to land in the Marvel sequelitis, where the sequel is not better than the original, like we've seen in previous films with Guardians Volume 2, Iron Man 2, Thor the Dark World. I like this one just a tad bit more than the original. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a fun time with it. It was way funnier, and it was just a blast and a breath of fresh air after the dramatic heartbreak and epicness of Infinity War. Best part are the three main performances. Paul Rudd back as Scott Lang and Ant-Man. Paul Rudd is even more funnier in this movie. I mean, Scott Lang, he's such a likable, lovable character. In the first movie, you really relate to him. He wanted to get out of jail, not go back to that, or he does go back to that, but you feel his connection to his daughter. He's trying to be a great father. And in this one, he's just hilarious, and he's a great lead hero. Along with Paul Rudd's charm and charisma comes along Evangeline Lilly. In the first film, she was badass, but we didn't really get to see her kick ass. We see her kick ass in Ant-Man and the Wasp. My God, we were promised that she would steal the whole movie, and she does. She kicks so much ass. She has great friendship and relationship with Scott Lang and Hank Pym, and it's just really great. I loved her performance as well as her in the action. I also thought Michael Douglas was even better in this film. He was so much more funny in this movie. He's just so freaking hilarious in this movie. He gives some great one-liners here and there. Michael Pena gives his same little speeches and stories and that quick humor that he did in the first movie. Just Michael Pena was just perfect in this movie. That leads to my next positive. This movie is so hilarious. The script is fantastic. I would say if you're a huge fan of that Edgar Wright style humor, I think you're gonna like the first one and find it more funny, but this one, to me, was more hilarious because of how well these characters are written and how well the dialogue is and how witty and snappy it is. There are some great scenes in this movie. You saw there's a car chase that goes down in the trailers where Giant Man's involved in this truck. And it's really great, a really fast-paced car chase scene. There's a lot of scenes when they're shrinking down and then they shrink back up and they flip over another car. That's what this movie is, guys. It's just flat-out entertaining. I didn't expect this movie to go dark at all. It was just a great entertaining ride from start to finish. That's what I needed. I mean, coming off of Infinity War, that movie just gave me enough dramatic intensity. What I loved about this is we see the quantum realm and how you can explore it more. There's a scene where Hank Pym goes in it and where Scott Lang goes in it, and it's just really good and really well designed. Great visual effects, great 3D effects as well. I definitely recommend it to see it in 3D because it really does look gorgeous. Marvel does have a little bit of a track record with the villains and kind of being generic and forgettable. And let's talk about Ghost. Is Ghost a forgettable villain? I don't think she's forgettable, but I don't think she's that great. I like the actress who plays her, Hannah John Kamen. She's from Ready Player One this year. I thought she was good in this movie. She gave a great performance. As far as the character of Ghost, I don't want to explain her fully because that gets into spoilers, but I thought she had some really cool sequences. Such a cool villain of Ghost, like walking through walls. She definitely was a good match for Ant-Man and the Wasp. And in this movie, something about her character just didn't work for me, and I just found it confusing. It's spoilers, guys. I don't want to get into it. That leads to some other villains that get introduced. Let's talk about Walton Goggins in this movie, who you saw in the trailers. And Walton Goggins, when I heard he was cast in this movie, I was pretty into it. I mean, Walton Goggins, he's great at playing villains. He was in Tomb Raider this year. His character was so not good. Not good at all. You could have completely taken him out of this movie. He did absolutely nothing to serve the story, and he was just useless. Sometimes the movie does get cartoonish with the dialogue and the action sequences, but I really didn't care because I really enjoyed the movie. I really didn't like the way they introduced Janet Van Dyne in the movie. It was just bland, and something happens with her. Then I'm like, what? She does something very important towards the end of the movie, which I'm not going to talk about at all. You guys know what I'm going to talk about. It's really confusing, unnecessary, and are we supposed to accept this? Okay. In the end, guys, I really enjoyed Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is right there with the original Ant-Man. I think it's even better by a tad. This movie just did it for me, guys. I was entertained from the whole start to finish. All the characters great once again. The action's great. Really funny movie. And I'm very interested to see what happens in the future. Ant-Man and the Wasp was a total blast, guys. Definitely go see this as soon as you can. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp the same grade as Ant-Man. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Really good time. Also, guys, be sure to stay for the 2 post-credit scenes. One is great. One is no. Alright, guys, that was my spoiler-free review for Ant-Man and the Wasp. What did you guys think of it? Did you love it? Think it was okay? Or did you absolutely hate it? And also let me know down below, which movie do you love better? The first Ant-Man or Ant-Man and the Wasp? Let me know down below in the comments. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review. And if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!